Okay, so I'm just gonna film a little bit of like the during process and what I get going. Um, the biggest hurdle on any uh, top end is just getting the old gaskets off. There's no fun way to do it. There's no easy way to do it. And I even went to O'Reilly's and got some of this Permatex gasket remover. This stuff works decently. I don't know what kind of gaskets it's made to work on, but I just know it's not silicone. So I sprayed this on there, had it go for like 3 coats for 20, 30 minutes each. And it does soften it up quite a bit, but it still just doesn't like wipe off like they say. I ended up getting my cylinder and my cylinder head back. Everything is fixed. My machine shop guy does a great job. The hole is drilled out, put an insert in it. I got new studs and nuts coming for it. Ordered those up, so the head is done. Other than when I get my top end kit, I'm going to re-lap the valves and put new valve seals in there since I have it out. I'm trying to clean up the head a little bit there. Let me finish that up. The cylinder is honed out. Just got a basic hone job on it, just freshen that up. So the one thing I hate about doing top ends is this gasket material. I mean, this is a 20-plus-year-old gasket, and it does not come off very good. I don't like really using metal blade, scrapers and stuff, because it will dig into the aluminum a little bit, even though I take a fine like wet sandpaper afterward. I mean, very, very fine, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not anything other than maybe knocking down a ridge. Nothing that's going to take off and mess with the gaps or anything. Let's see. The piston looked fine. Of course, I did get new rings for it. I'm going to clean up the head. The cam's going in. So a little project for today I'm going to do is I want to mount my bench grinder here, because I'm going to do all the bolts. I mean, all the bolts are going to cleaned up, everything that I can, wire wheel cleaned up. So I'm going to make this mobile. I got these casters from work, from my old cart. Put those on, get that done. I got the tractor muffler in. Ordered the F04 because inside it does have a baffle right there. So that's going to get put on. Got to go to Riley's and get the adapters for that. The inside here is looking good. All the gaskets are cleaned up. I'm ready to be reinstalled. I'm not messing with the timing chain or anything, because like I said, it's not messed up. And on top of that, I cut out kind of the template I want for my axle paddle. I want it to be straight up on this side and then curved over here. So when it gets put on there, that's kind of how it's going to set. And I'm going to do 5 of them with bracing on the inside. But for all you guys that don't know, the paddle just gets welded onto that. And it's a 6-inch tall paddle. I think 3 3/4 inches on top, about 2 inches on the bottom. That's where it's going to be. Kind of got the table done. I am going to brace the sides of it, the all corners of it. But I got the wheels on. It is pretty tall, but I kind of wanted it tall because of I wanted like a good area where I won't have to bend down to work. I got the bench grinder all bolted up, mounted. Just got to do something with the wire. I'm gonna pull it down back, but yeah, I mean the whole thing now rolls nice, steers nice. Just kind of making things a little bit more mobile. And I think I'm gonna like this height, but we'll see. When I brace it up, I might cut it back down. Okay, so I've been working on my cylinder here. Finally got all the old gasket off. It took forever. We got it there. I got the tensioner gasket surface all cleaned up. And like I say, all I do after I scrape it off with the metal blades over there, I just use some very fine wet grit sandpaper. Wet it down, that's what the tub of water there's for, and barely lightly just get that surface very nice and smooth. I mean, you're not gouging into it, you're not making divots, nothing like that. Just clean it up, making it nice and smooth. I got all my new gaskets there. I do use Namor for stuff like this because it's very, I've never had a problem with it. It's cheap and it works great. I've never, broken a ring. I've never scored a piston with it. So we're gonna do that. Since I also got this with the new valve seals there, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the valves, clean up the cylinder head there and the valve seats. Gonna go relap them, and then clean up all the bolts. So that's where we're at. All right, so y'all have seen the just the basic thing on what I use for the to get the valve springs out and rebuild the head. Just a valve spring compressor from Harbor Freight. For the 300, I used the last one and the tool. We're just gonna put it on there and pull it off.
Fleslet.
Alright, so I got the valves out and just checking my valve seals. Right here it's not bad, but if you notice right down in there I get some pass through, which the valve seat looks fine, but on the valve right here I got, I don't know if you can see that, a little bit of carbon buildup there, so that's where that's passing through there. The exhaust is pretty well, not shot, but definitely time for a tune-up, because on the valve itself, you know, everything's a good color, so it's sealing fine. But just after 24 years of buildup, I mean, it's time for a different fresh up. So that's what we're gonna do there. Okay, so we got to the point where I am ready to start assembling. Everything is cleaned up. The piston got new rings on it. It's all nice and cleaned up. There's the old rings and valve seals. The cylinder is ready to go. I think I just showed this. The cylinder head has all been re-lapped and grinded. So now all the seats are nice and smooth and all the valves are cleaned up. So the head is ready to go back, and then that's pretty much it on this point. So it's a couple of days later, and I'm just kind of able to work on this thing at night here, but as you saw, the whole head's put back together, and I finally got the studs and nuts in. So all I'm going to do with that is just put some anti-seize. Actually, I'm going to put thread locker on the parts that actually thread into the head. I'm going to put anti-seize all over the parts where the nuts go. And if you don't know, the nuts go on the part that's longer. The shorter end goes into the head there. And if you don't know how to put them in there, you just double nut it, and then you tighten it down with the top one. Now, I was going to film this yesterday, but it was late, and the battery died on this thing as soon as I went to start filming it. And so this is what you get: just your basic cylinder, piston install. But everything went on nice. I checked all my ring gaps. Everything was within spec, which spec is the top is 0.5 and the bottom is 0.6. I don't have any of the bolts and anything yet because I got to clean up every bolt. I'm gonna wire wheel them all, get them all nice and clean. But I do have the new gasket in there. It is set at TDC. So yep. Now we're just gonna put the head on once I get the studs in there. And there we go, the final project to why this whole project even started. New studs, re-drill tap threads. Should be easy to get out later on if I ever need to. And okay, I got the head back on. Everything is torqued down. Got the new cam in there, or the 88 cam. But I just use like a little bit of everything here. I got, again, that stuff on the cam lobes. I put this stuff on the cam rollers, guides, whatever you want to call it there. And then your sequence, if you don't really know this, it goes 1, 2, 3. Then you come back up here to 4, 5. And the one down here 6 and 7, and do all that. And yeah, so that's your torque sequence, and you got the 2 down here. Anyways, like I said, this isn't a how-to. This video is already kind of drawn out too longer than I wanted to, so I'm going to kind of end it quick here. But as you know, your lines have to be parallel to the head. The dot has to be up top there, and then your T mark on the let's see, inside there have to be perfectly aligned. And then there you go, there's your A with the cam lobes facing down. Alright, so I'm going to put the silicone on and put the head back on real quick. Okay, I got everything buttoned back up and put on. I use Yama Bond for my sealer, just because I feel like that works better than even the Honda Bond. I mean, it might all be the exact same stuff, but you don't need a lot, just enough to thinly coat. And then I like to see a nice even amount get squished out. Everything is torqued. All the head bolts are torqued. The oil feed line's torqued down. Even the engine mounts up here are torqued down to the correct specs. Now next we are just going to adjust the valves. Both the intake and exhaust in the book shows to be 0.006, and so that's what we're going to adjust it as. And then I'll put the covers on with the new O-rings, and this weekend I will go and get the exhaust installed. So that's where I'm going to